Alright, today our lesson is on area of triangles. And the good thing about today's lesson is that it's very similar to our lesson on the area of parallelograms. We just have a slightly different formula. Let's start with our definitions. The base of a triangle is any side of the triangle. And the height of the triangle is the length of the perpendicular segment from a vertex to the base opposite of that vertex. So if you'll remember, a vertex is the top of the triangle, sort of like the mountain peak. So if this was the base, then this would be the vertex. So then the height would go here from the base to the vertex. So when we find area of a triangle, we need to know that the area of the triangle is half of the area of a parallelogram with the same base length and the same height. Just like last week when we looked at the triangle being half the size of the rectangle. So our formula is area equals 1/2 of the base times the height. So in these two triangles, you notice that these two have been identified as the bases. So when you're looking for the height of the triangle, you go to the peak or the vertex of the triangle to find that height. So we're going to find the area of a triangle. A park is a triangular plot of land. The plot has a base of 214 meters and the height of 70 meters. What's the area of the plot? So we have our sketch here. We have a triangle with the base of 214 and we have a height of 70. So remember, the first step when we're working with these problems are to write the formula. So we write A equals 1/2 B times H. Now we can actually take that H out. We can have the H touching the B because two variables touching means multiply. So then what we're going to do is start plugging in the information that we know, just like yesterday. So area equals 1/2 of the base, which is 214, times the height, which is 70. So now there's two different ways I can look at this. Sometimes I will multiply these two numbers together, and then I'll take half of that, which means to divide by 2. Or if it's easy for me to work it out, I will take half of this first number and then multiply the answer times the next number, which is what we've done here. 1/2 of 214 is 107. So then you bring down the 70, and all we're left to do with is 107 times 70. So we get 7,490 meters squared. Remember, it's like having that many squares inside that space. So now you try it out. Pause the video and then restart it when you're finished. This first triangle, notice, is on a grid and it didn't give us the dimensions. So we're going to count the spaces on the grid to find the base and the height. So we count the spaces here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this base is 6. And the height is 1, 2, 3. So our height is 3. I'll write that to the side. Base is 6, height is 3. So step 1, write the formula. Area equals 1/2 of the base times the height. Now I'm ready to plug in. Area equals 1/2 the base, which is 6, times the height, which is 3. All right, so 1/2 of 6 is 3. So then bring down my other 3. 3 times 3 equals 9. Area is 9. And I can plug in on all of these formulas and double check my answers. All right, let's try this one. Area equals 1/2 base times height. So I'm ready to plug in what I know. I'm looking for the area. So 1/2 of the base, which is here, 9, times the height, which is 7. All right, so on this one, I think I'll go ahead and take 1/2 and then multiply my 9 times 7. All right, when I multiply 9 times 7, I get 63. So now I'm going to take half of 63. So my area will equal 31.5. And all I did was type 63 into my calculator and divide it by 2. That's how you take a half of a number. Okay, we're also going to find missing dimensions today. So we will use the area of the triangle to find the missing dimension. So notice in this triangle, it tells us the height is 6. We do not know the base, but we do know that the area is 24 centimeters squared. So step 1, write your formula. Step 2, plug in the numbers you know. I know that the area is 24, so I plug it in, equals 1/2. I don't know the base, so I leave the b. Then I write the 6 in for the height because I knew that information. So now what I did was I brought down the 24, and I'm going to simplify what I can on this side. 1/2 of 6 is 3. And then I bring down the b. Notice these are all multiplied together, so I'm still multiplying here because when you have a number touching a variable, it means multiply. So now, with that just 24 equals 3b, I have an equation. So I need to solve the equation. I need to undo this multiplication. To undo multiplication, we divide. So I'm going to divide this by 3, and what we do to one side, we must do to the other. When I divide this by 3, it'll cancel out, leaves b by itself, and now all I have to do is 24 divided by 3, so I get 8. And I can double check my work by plugging in this 8 here. All right, so then 8 times 6 is 48, and half of 48 is 24. So I know that my answer is correct. So now you try it out. So pause the video, and then when you're done trying them out, restart the video. Step 1 is to write our formula. Area equals 1/2 base times height. Now I'm ready to plug in. I know that the area is 40. I'm going to take 1/2. I don't know the base. I'm going to leave the b. And the height is 8. So now I'm going to simplify what I can. 1/2 of 8 is 4. And then I bring down my b. I'm still left with 4 times b. Now I have an equation. I need to solve for b. b needs to be all alone, so I will do the opposite of multiplication, which is divide. Divide by 4, and what I do to one side, I must do to the other. So that will cancel my 4s, leave b all alone. 40 divided by 4 is 10. I can double check my answer by putting a 10 right here. 10 times 8 is 80, and half of 80 is 40. My answer checks. And then finally, area equals 1/2 base times height. So area is 72. So I can plug in the 72 under the A. 1/2 times, all right, this time they gave me the base, so I can plug in my 12. Looking for the height, leave the H. Now I'm ready to simplify on this side of the equation. 1/2 of 12 is 6. Then I bring down the H. Still have to multiply that. Well, let's undo to get the H all by itself. The opposite of multiplication is division. So we'll divide by 6, and what we do to one side, we must do to the other. Oops, I wrote 75 instead of 72. Sorry, I didn't bring down the right number. All right, so 72 will be divided by 6, and that'll give me 12.